My good people, let's get into message of the day for August 6, 2023. And it's brought to you by Marcus Aurelius. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, because an artful life requires being prepared to meet and withstand sudden and unexpected attacks. Ladies and gentlemen, in the month of June, this past June, life literally threw me a Randy Macho Man elbow off the top rope. Me and my family. And when I'll explain that and I'll get into more stuff, we're going to get into a whole bunch of stuff. Your boy is back. Let's get into the show. My good people, welcome back. It is August 2023. This is episode 17. This is Don't Kill the Messenger podcast. I am your boy Marc, and I am back. I missed you guys. I hope you guys missed me. It's been like 2 months since I released any content. We're going to get into all the reasons why. Before we do that, let's handle some business. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. All right, now we can talk our stuff. All right, listen, man, I hope your summer's been going well so far, man. It's August. You already know what that means. It's August. It's pre-fall. Listen, the temperature's already starting to drop. They're not dropping to the point where it's like 60 degrees, but you can see a little dip in the temperatures. My boys are in the chat rooms. They're sending me notifications when our fantasy league draft is going to happen. So you already know football is going to be here soon. So enjoy August. September is upon us ASAP. So just enjoy, and I hope you've been enjoying it thus far. Now, before we talk about June, let's get into my July. My July was really good. It's been really a decent July. Did a lot of New York City tourist stuff. I walked the Brooklyn Bridge for the first time in my New York City life, 47 years. In this in this beautiful place that is called New York City, and I've never walked the Brooklyn Bridge, and I walked it for the first time. Of course, I got anxiety because I'm thinking as soon as I walk the bridge, it's gonna collapse. Didn't happen. I guess I'm not that special. But me, the wife, and the oldest, we went and we walked the bridge, and I gotta be honest with you, man, I had a real good time. It was a really dope experience. What else did we do? Did a lot of foodie stuff. What's the best restaurant I've been to so far in the summer? Well, we always go to Chinatown, so the Chinatown's always good. Did I eat anywhere in particular? No. Been eating a lot of crap. Did I go to any restaurants? Damn, did I? I can't remember. Anyway, don't worry about that. If I remember, I'll let you guys know. But I did go on a little weekend getaway to a spot called Lake George. Now, Lake George is upstate New York. I'm not going to lie to you. If you voted for Joe Biden, you probably shouldn't go to Lake George. Super conservative. If you care about things like ratio, it's like 95% white people and like 5% other. Just if you ain't white, you in the others, bro. And it's literally that up there. It is a super conservative town. You can tell because I'm gonna put up a picture of a T-shirt that was all over the place. That shirt right there. But I got to be honest with you, man. The people were really cool, and the vibe was real nice and laid back, and it was just a real relaxing getaway. And the restaurants up there were pretty good, man. The food was really dope up there. No, notice one thing. Across street from my hotel, there would be lines. I mean, I don't care what time of day it was. If it's 1 p.m., if it's 10 p.m., if it's 12 p.m., people in droves will be waiting across the street to get this soft-made ice cream, homemade soft ice cream. So I want to say the night before we left, we were like, let's check this out. We might as well, because there's no way in hell people are going to be standing in line for ice cream like this every single night. There must be some bomb-ass ice cream. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, it was some bomb-ass ice cream. It's probably some of the best ice cream I've ever had in my life. The ice cream was that good, so I could see why it was always packed. But Lake George is really nice. If you're looking for an inexpensive getaway, you just want to kind of leave the inner boroughs real quick. You just kind of want to, get your relaxation and just kind of, know the scenery, and because the scenery up there is beautiful, and the lake and the water. I suggest Lake George for all the people who like things like that. It was a really relaxing getaway. However, full disclosure, Lake George will get you for your money because they have super duper outlets out there. I seen the Timberland outlet. The Timberland outlet. the New Yorker, the New York Cityer in me got excited. And I went into the Timberland store because I'm thinking I'm going to get one over, right? I'm going to go in there and I'm going to see those double sole $210 Timberlands for like $70. I walk into the store. The little white teenager comes to me, hey, bud, may I help you? I'm like, yeah, champ, listen, you know what I'm looking for. He's like, I think I do. And he walked me over to the double sole Timberland. I said, champ, how much are they? He's like, I have bad news for you, guy. These are still retail price. I want to slap the little white boy. I mean, it was not personal, but he broke my heart. Made a quick U-turn, walked up out of there. So just know that Lake George got super duper outlets, and you will go up there. To me, the best outlet out there by far was Adidas. They had the best bang for your buck. Okay, now, since I didn't drop a show in July or after the halfway point of June, there were some birthdays that I want to just kind of acknowledge before we move on. So my cousin Tisha had a birthday in July. She went out there. She went to Mexico with my other cousin. She went with her husband. Went with her friends. I didn't even get an invite. I was kind of sad about that. No one loves me. I was just joking, but she had a very good time. So Tish, happy birthday to you, my sister. My brothers Jared and Julio were literally on a world tour for the whole month of July. You would think these dudes is Beyonce's backup dancers. They was on every week. It was something. Every week it was something. It was like a brown and beige party, pink and green. I mean, it was doing it up. But I have to give these guys this. This is all jokes aside. I like the way they live life, man, because they celebrate it and they celebrate it on their terms. And they're hardworking men and they hustle and they get that bag. So to see them enjoying the fruits of their labors always makes me happy. So my bros, I love you guys, man. Happy birthday on my platform. Just want to give you the proper happy birthday, fellas. And the most important birthday in July was my baby girl, Marley. Marley turned 6 this year. Time is flying, man. 6 years, man. It's a snap of a finger, bro. And just see her growing up into a beautiful young lady. She's the spark plug of this house. And right now she's on vacation in Florida with her auntie. She left her boring parents and she's having fun down there. So Marley, I just want to say on Daddy's podcast, happy birthday to you, my love. Okay, cool. Now, I don't know if you guys seen. Let's talk hip hop, because this is, of course, the 50th year of hip hop, right? The celebration. And there's concerts going all over the place, and everyone's happy that hip hop has turned 50. And, it's cool to see how the art form, whether good or bad, has evolved, right? I don't want to be the old head who says he doesn't like the current state of hip hop, but then again, I low-key criticize this my sons. I call it my sons' music. Sometimes I criticize. I'm like, yo, they too violent. I was literally listening to Mobb Deep on the way to the gym the other day. I got to be honest with you. It's just as violent. So, can I really criticize it? I guess just the sound and the way they flow is just not for me. So, whatever. So, anyway, hip-hop turned 50. And, of course, with these things, when things and milestones happen, there's going to be lists and there's going to be debates. Who's the greatest this, who's the greatest that, so on and so forth. So, of course, Billboard decided to come out with the top 50 greatest hip-hop groups, right, of all time. I believe one episode we already addressed their top 50 hip-hop artists. So they came out with a top 50 group list. Now, I'm not going to give you the whole 50, right? I'm going to start off where they placed the locks. Then we're going to work our way up the list to number 1. Guys, I try not to get mad at these things. Like, I really try not to. But, sometimes these... Okay, so they got the locks at 22. Styles, Chic, and Luch at 22. 22. The locks at 22. You're trying to tell me the locks aren't a top 20 group in hip-hop history? The locks. Okay, you want to put the locks at 22? I disagree, but that's fine. Cool. No problem. Let's scroll up the list real quick. Bone Thugs and Harmony at 21. They changed the game. Okay, cool. UGK. So you're telling me you're putting UGK before the locks? Okay. Then, okay. Now, G Unit is at number 19. I disagree with that. You could have put G Unit at 22, and you could have put the Locks at 19. The Locks is a top 20 group. You're putting G Unit before the Locks? Okay, no problem. The list keeps getting better, right? And I'm not going to spend all day in this. 3-6 Mafia at 18. I'm New York bias. Everyone knows this. Cypress Hill at 17. Beastie Boys at 16. Naughty by Nature at 15. The Fugees at 14. Fugees had one album, ladies and gentlemen. One album. Fugees are overrated. I said it. Mobb Deep at 13. To me, Mobb Deep is top 10 group of all time, but at least they're in the top 20. If they'd have been out of the top 20, I wouldn't even done this segment. Okay? Grandmaster Flash Furious 5 at 12. They probably should have been higher than one of the Pioneers. The Migos. Now, here's where stuff gets me pissed off. You're telling me you put the Migos before the Locks? The New Yorker in me says that. But then I look at how the Migos really changed the game. Man, it was one point in hip hop, like what, 6-7 years ago, everybody and their mama sounded like the Migos. So the unbiased in me had to take over and be like, you know what? Yeah, the Migos at 11. I agree with that. The Roots, number 10. Roots, this is to me overrated, bro. De La Soul's number 9. Okay. Salt and Pepper, number 8. They changed the game for female groups. Eric B. and Rakim at number 7. I mean, it's a rap in the deep. Okay. Public Enemy, number 6. I'd have had him top 5. Run DMC at 5. Okay. Tribe Called Quest at 4. Okay. I'd have had him in the top 10. Not sure if I'd have had him at number 4. NWA at number 3. Okay, I could live with that. Here's where it gets funky for me, and here's where we're going to get into our little debate. Okay, Wu-Tang's at number 2, and Outkast is at number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, and I said when I came back, I was going to limit my cursing because I want to sound articulate and educated. So I'm going to articulately say, are you shitting me? Yo, how is Outkast number 1 and Wu-Tang is number 2? Explain this to me. Someone explain this to me. Someone please break this down for me. So I know I'm a middle-aged, damn near suburban father. I know I might be out of touch, but please someone explain to me how Outkast is number 1 and Wu-Tang is number 2. Bro, do you know how? Let's just take Wu-Tang. Let's take Wu-Tang at number 2, right? They saved the East Coast as far as music goes, when they came out in the early 90s. You realize that, right? Do you understand that Wu-Tang was so bad? Bro, do you know, I remember back in the day when I thought I was going to be a rapper with the guys on the block, and we used to all rap, and it was like 7, 9, 10 of us. I don't know. It was a whole lot of ninjas in one group, right? And we all would try to flow on the track. Do you understand how horrible it sounded? Some were good. Some of us was really good. I was one of them. And some of us was there because we pitied them and we didn't know how to tell them, yo, bro, you can't rap. You're not going to be on this track. And so, do you know how hard it is to make that sound cohesive? And Wu-Tang, when they first came out, they had 8 brothers on one track and it literally sounded like one dude was rapping. That's how the flow was. That's how it was just, it was just beautiful, man. And none of them is whack. So, okay, so not only did they come out and not only did 8 brothers get on one track, right? The majority of tracks of that album, right? And they all rapped. But, bro, solo-wise, individually-wise, they smashed the game. Let's start with let's start with Method Man. Yo, Method Man. M-A-T-H-O-D Man. That single was crazy. Bring the Pain. Crazy. Yeah, Method Man albums could be a little so-so, but still, Meth was the star. He was the star. Let's not talk about 95 Only Built for Cuban Links. Yo, Raekwon owned the summer. When Biggie and Nas had that run, Raekwon in 95 said, yo, fellas, you know what? Y'all had that little 2 years. Let me grab that. Raekwon owned the summer. There was not a car that was driving by with a Benzie box that you didn't hear Ice Cream playing out of, bro. Incarcerated Scarfaces. Nah. Let's not even talk about one of the top 5 MCs that ever lived, Ghostface Killer. You heard Supreme Clientele. You heard Iron Man, Bulletproof Wallets. Ghost is one of the greats. We didn't even get the old Dirty Bastard. We didn't. Classic album.
I figured that Wu-Tang was going to win. I don't know how y'all see it, but when it comes to the children, Wu-Tang is for the children. We teach the children. You know what I mean? Puffy is good, but Wu-Tang is the best. Okay? I want y'all to know that.
GZA, classic first album. RZA, one of the top, 10 producers? Some might say even 5 producers of all time. So when you have these people that not only amassed success as a group, but then they all individually went and knocked it out of the park on their own individuals, right? Man, Wu-Tang changed the game, man. I love Outkast. I do. I love AT man. I love Speakerbox Love Below. Andre 3000 is top 5, top 10. But there's no way you could put Outkast over Wu-Tang Clan. You can't do it, man. Wu-Tang changed the game, man. They put the Outkast put the South on the map, but I don't know, man. That's apples and oranges, man. All right, now let's go to something that's been going viral. I've been seeing this, and I've watched it 1,000 times. Well, maybe not 1,000. I'm exaggerating. Maybe I watched it 10 times, but I watched it enough to have some thoughts on it. Okay, so there's this video going around, and this guy, he made a video, and once shit hits Shade Room, it's over. So he went on a blind date. It was a blind date because he never met her before, right? But apparently he was talking to this young lady. I'm not sure if he met her on a dating app or whatever. And they were talking for 2 weeks. And then I guess they set something up and they were supposed to meet. And he went to meet the young lady at said restaurant. 30 minutes go by. She didn't show up. I'll put up a video. He goes on the internet and he voices his displeasure. But not only does his displeasure, but he also seemed to just be fed up.
So I just left the restaurant after waiting 30 minutes for a date to show up. And apparently I got stood up. I don't know what to say. Like, I'm trying to do everything right to be a gentleman. I brought flowers. I've been consistent talking with this girl for 2 weeks, trying to get to know what she likes, what she doesn't like. I made plans. I picked the restaurant, the day and the time. You know, I've done everything to be just the kind of guy that would value somebody's time. Like, I'm just looking for my person. I'm just looking for the one that, I guess, is out there for me. I mean, I want to be somebody's husband someday, father. Right, I just get stood up. Like, my feelings didn't even matter. Sitting there eating a meal by myself. And realizing that nobody even cares about people anymore. Like, LA and dating shouldn't even be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to find somebody. It shouldn't be this difficult to fall in love. To be kind to one another. Like, what? Ladies, tell me, what did I do wrong?
Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. When I saw the video, I was like, bro, why are you putting your defeat? Why are you putting your L on social media like this, bro? Social media is for people to front like they got it all together. Like I do. Why are you doing this, bro? But, you know, and you look like a wimp doing it, man. You're crying, you know, you're looking bad in these streets. That's what I initially thought. But like I told you, I watched this video like 1,000 times, maybe 20, maybe 10. And then I said, you know what? I actually feel bad for this dude. And here's why I feel bad for him. Man, I've been married 12 years. I can't even imagine what the dating scene is like in 2023. I really can't. But this young man appears to want some stability. He appears to want a mate. He appears to want to be a man and have a woman and provide and protect. This is all the stuff I'm getting from this video. And it seems like this is not, and it doesn't seem like this is the first time out. This is why he's probably releasing this video, because at this point he's probably fed up with the dating scene and he doesn't know what it takes to find a good woman. Where are the good women? Where are the honest women? Where are they at? Now, mind you, this is 2023, bro. The fact that he even wants a woman, I have to salute him, right? Because I mean, hey man, the world's trippy, bro. And you know, men are becoming chicks, and you know, and chicks that are men are more valued than real women, and you know, things are kind of trippy now. But it seems like he just wants a traditional relationship. Now, from what I heard, word on the street is from my single guys, especially some of my coworkers who are a little younger than I. Women seem to want a lot. You know, they seem to want a man to come out of college making six figures and to kind of have his ish together right away and to provide. But then the young brothers are asking, well, what do you give me besides your looks? What are you bringing to the table? So I was thinking, would he be better off maybe going to church to find a woman? Right? Because you figure if you go to a church and not one of them janky culty churches, I mean like a real legit non-denominational, hey bro, we're just trying to follow Jesus and live a pretty decent life church, maybe he might find his purpose. Maybe he might find his mate. Maybe he might find someone that is equally yoked as he is, you know, whatever that is. And maybe he might find someone that wants to build something in regards to a future and a family, so on and so forth. So I don't know if dating apps, and I'm not judging because, hey, man, there's lots of people that have found love and they found their person on dating apps, you know. But, you know, hey, listen, maybe you should give church a try, bro. I mean, it don't hurt, right? And mind you, sometimes that don't go right neither because I ain't going to lie to you. A lot of dudes be going to church like predators, bro. They be up in there trying to find them church girls so they can use them and stuff like that. So I'm not saying it's always a sure home run, but I don't know, bro. Maybe you should just change it up a little bit, man. Maybe if you feel like, you know, the way you're trying to meet these women isn't panning out for you, maybe you should just, you know, kind of, you know, cut that off and kind of retool and come up with a game plan to kind of shift gears and maybe, you know, going into another avenue, man. So I hope the next time this brother releases a video that, you know, he because it seems like he puts everything on the internet. Trust me, I ain't judging, bro. I hope that he has found the mate. I really do, man. It's hard out here, bro. I mean, that's what I'm being told. That's what I'm being told. Okay, so why did I take off 2 months? Let's get into the elephant in the room, shall we? I've been gone. The last time I released the podcast was the week after Father's Day, which was, I'll tell you right now, it had to be Father's Day was June 18th. So I want to say I released something like June 21st, and I've kind of been off the grid from there. So what was going on? Why did I not release anything? Okay. Father's Day. I'm at work. It's a nice day. It's sunny outside. It's Father's Day. But I get off relatively early at work. And my wife already told me what she's going to cook me for dinner. And I couldn't wait. I mean, you ever been to work and you just want to work to get over with like ASAP? That Father's Day was one of those days. I get an early morning text from the wife. Happy Father's Day, babe. I love you. Cool. Mind you, drive the bus. I'm on the bus. A couple of hours later, maybe an hour and a half later, I get a phone call from the wife. But I can't pick up. I'm in service. I'm driving the bus. Then I get another phone call. And then I get another phone call. I'm like, this is weird, you know, because I know she's getting ready for church. Why is she calling me, you know? And then I get another phone call. Then I get a phone call from my daughter, a phone call, and another phone call. Now I'm starting to freak out. Now I'm like, okay, what is going on here? So long story short, I pull into the last stop. I call my wife, no pickup. Now I call my daughter. She picks up. She said, Dad, Natalie's been taken to the hospital. And I said, what do you mean taken? She said, the pastor's wife, and by the way, the pastor's wife's name is Pastor Dele, and her birthday was just August 1st. And I would like to wish her happy birthday on my platform. Happy birthday, my sister. You are a beautiful human being. God don't make them any better than you. I love you. And happy birthday to my daughter's mother as well. They share the same birthday. Glee, you're a stand-up person. Happy birthday to you. Back to the story. She said Pastor Dele took her to the hospital. I said, what the hell? So then I called my pastor, and she said, Brother Marcus, you need to come over here now. So I had to call who I had to call. I had to tell him, hey, man, I got a family emergency. I got to wrap this up. I got to go be with my wife, jobs, and to do what you got to do. I get over to the hospital. I see my wife. I'm in the ER. Looks like my wife, but her face is off. Something's wrong with her face. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And so Pastor Dele tells me that it appears that my wife had a stroke. I said, what? Because what do you mean she had a stroke? She's 42 years old. She's not a smoker. She doesn't have a high blood pressure. She doesn't have a family history of heart disease. What are you talking about? She had a stroke. So then the doctor comes down, and the doctor confirms what my pastor just told me, that my wife had a stroke. Everyone gets teary-eyed, so on and so forth. A couple of hours later, my pastor, her husband, walks in. He pushes me to the side. Not push me, but gently move me to the side. And he put hands on my wife's head, and then he commenced to pray for her. He didn't say one word, by the way. I mean, not even a hello. He just went in there and he handled business. So, this is on Sunday. This is Father's Day Sunday, by the way. Monday comes. Her face looks better than it did the day before. And then Tuesday comes, and her face looks better than it did the day before. And each day that's gone by, her face gets better and better. Well, as I work one day, the doctor came in and told my wife, do you know how lucky you are? Things could have really went left field for you. And we can't explain why it didn't. But those of us that are in the know why it didn't go left field. My pastor laid hands on my wife, and God performed a miracle. And my wife was out of that hospital in a week and a day, and she required no rehab, no physical therapy. She can talk. The day after we came back from Lake George just a couple of days ago, we went bike riding. My wife biked 16 miles, first time out. So, why do I tell you that story? I tell you that story for a couple of reasons. One, I tell you that story because I want you to understand that God is good. I want you to know that he can perform miracles in your life. I've seen it done, bro. And I'm not even a preachy guy, I promise you. I'm not. My pastor I went bike riding one Sunday and he wanted to kill me. So I'm not that guy, trust me. But I know what I know and I know what I see. And I know that God, mercy and grace was bestowed on my wife and his family. That's one. Two, my wife's circle of friends, they're just some of the most solid people. Solid people. Now I told you my two pastors, they're solid. They're solid. They solidify. They family for life. You know what I mean? Her friend Jasmine, who is a mom of 1,000 kids, I'm just joking, Jazz, got up and flew out from where she lives to New York to be at her friend's side just to make sure she was okay. Her husband didn't even hesitate to say, go ahead, handle that. My wife's sister called all the time. My wife's other sister called all the time. Some of them even annoyed me because they kept asking, and I'm just trying to hold the fort down. And I couldn't get emotional. I couldn't. It was no time for that. It wasn't time for me to get in my feelings about how I was feeling that my wife had a stroke. It was time to man up and hold the fort down. But her family, the love and support and the phone calls and texts was just beyond amazing. Beyond amazing. And the third reason why I'm telling you the story, well, first I had to explain why your boy ain't podcasting in a minute. Our kids are awesome. Every parent is going to say they have awesome kids. Every single parent, right? As long as they're not out here selling crack or doing drugs, you're going to say you have a good kid. Ladies and gentlemen, we have awesome kids. We have kick-ass kids. My oldest took care of the baby while my wife was, in the hospital, and she slept in the room with her. She gave her that sisterly, motherly touch. Now, mind you, I told you, Father's Day, my wife was preparing dinner before church before she fell ill. Do you know when I came home super late at night from the hospital, drained, emotionally gone? My boy, my son, stepson or not, that's my boy. He finished the dinner for me. Man, when you talk about a grown 6'1" black dude crying, I cried. I broke down. I couldn't handle it. It was too emotional, bro. It was too emotional. So, that is why I had to take a little sabbatical. I just wanted to put all my energy into making sure she was okay. She's up and running. Like I just told you, she just did 16 miles on the bike. She's hitting the Peloton. She's telling me she's committed to, getting right with her health. Not that it wasn't, totally off the scales, but, she just wants to get in shape. So she's fine. So now that she's fine, I'm fine, and I'm here. And that is why your boy took a little break, and now I'm back. And so now you have her to blame. She's to blame for me being back. All right. Let's get into an episode of You Done Effed Up. Now, this episode of You Done Effed Up has got to be one of the most craziest stories I've heard in a while. What's going on? Listen, it is my belief. It is my strong belief that everybody should not have a child. Everyone should not have the privilege or the right to have such a miracle happen to them. Now, it's your right. You do what you want. But you probably shouldn't, because you might be a little... Let's get into the story. Yasmin Paez is one of those people. Why? Why should she not have kids? Why shouldn't she have had a kid? I'll tell you why. First of all, if you look at the picture I'm about to throw up of Yasmin, she looks crazy. You ever seen that movie Mask with Rocky Dennis? She looks like Rocky Dennis' sister, bro. She looks crazy in these streets. She really does. She looks like she has some mental health problems. Now, listen, I want to say something, but I was told by my staff of one, my wife, yo, maybe you shouldn't say that, because, everyone's a little sensitive. But if this was 1998, I would tell you that she looks retarded. And she does. But this is 2023, and she looks like she has mental health issues. So what did she do that was so bad?
A developing story. A South Florida mother is in jail tonight, accused of trying to hire a hitman to kill her own child.
CBS News Miami's Gabrielle Arzola joins us now with the disturbing details.
It's a story that doesn't seem real. An 18-year-old mother wanted to kill her 3-year-old son. So she goes online and tries to hire a hitman from a website called hireahitman.com.
She went on a website to hire a hitman.
18-year-old Jasmine Paz faced a judge Wednesday after investigators say she tried to get her young son killed. Her actions even shocking the judge.
What? To kill her own child? To kill her own child? I didn't get that far.
According to the arrest form, investigators say Paz sent an email to the folks at rentahitman.com, which is a parody site. But the only man you'd see behind the screen is Bob Innes, who isn't a killer, but instead an IT specialist.
It amazes me at the number of requests the website gets on a monthly basis. It's shocking. It's scary.
He has dedicated much of his life to helping authorities and tells me many of these emails are pranks, but some requests, like Paz's, ring a very different tune. Investigators.
Miraculously, she was released on bond. Hey, man, the justice system is trippy in 2023, but I'm not letting any Yahoo out on bond, bail, nothing. If I'm a judge at least, and I know that person contacted a hitman to kill their 3-year-old kid. But here's the funny thing. Not funny thing. Here's the ironic thing. Not even ironic. Here's the trippy thing about this. Ms. Paez isn't the only one. She's not the only idiot who's contacted this hitman to kill someone. Thousands of people has hit this dude up to wipe out baby mamas, baby daddies, husbands, wives, exes, mother-in-laws. I mean, this shit is crazy. But I think this is the first time that someone contacted this website to terminate a kid. Listen, man, this thing's called responsibility, right? And sometimes, listen, when I was young and I was, doing what I was doing and giving it up, I was all for, hey, you come up to me, hey, I'm in a situation. I was like, well, here's money. Handle that situation. That, stupid young guy stuff. But as you get older and as you mature, you realize, that's not the way to go, man. Now listen, I know as I've grown older, I have conservative values, but I really am like low key pro choice because I'm like, end of the day, I don't want no one to tell me to take a vaccine. Why should I tell you to have a baby? But you have to be responsible. There's things that you can put in place before you have sex to make sure you won't be in that position to make that life decision, that hard life decision. And I'm a man. I'm not a woman. So I can only imagine how hard that decision can be. But, there's things like adoption. If you feel like you can't hack it, And if her family is screwed up like her, I'm pretty sure she doesn't have a solid family structure where she could say, you know what? I don't think I could do this. Can you please take care of my child for me? So this chick went and contacted a hitman to snipe her baby out for 3 G's. That's crazy shit. Okay. I've been going for a minute, man. It's been like 2 months. So let's talk about what I want to talk about. Politics as usual. Okay. Now, as we know, things is getting real heated up. We're not really heated up. They're the same as they were before, if I'm being totally honest with you. Okay. Democrats, Republicans. On the Republicans, no, let's start with the Democrats because they're easy. Nobody in their mind is running against Joe Biden, it seems, except for some dude named RFK Jr. Robert Fitzgerald Jr., okay? Kennedy Jr., okay? That's Bobby's Kennedy's son. That's who he is. So, he's running against Joe Biden, Democratic primary, and I'm not going to lie to you. As of right now, it's 64% for Biden and 15% for Kennedy. Now, the 15% doesn't sound like a lot, but you got to understand these numbers. No, but with Kennedy, yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, and honestly, it's not a lot. Because to be honest, Kennedy's been running these numbers. He's been running these same numbers since he started running. So now, who's Bobby Kennedy? Hold on, 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Let me get 1 sec. Democrat primary. Let's get up here. State survey polls, search polls. Okay, so who's ahead in the polls? Okay, yeah. So Biden at 64%, Kennedy at 15%, and it's been like this for a minute. So who's RFK? Who's Robert F. Kennedy? Okay, so like I said, he's the son of the first Robert F. Kennedy, who is the brother of JFK, which we all know who that is. No need to explain that. So he's an environmental lawyer, and he is known as a conspiracy theorist. Why is he known as a conspiracy theorist? Because he speaks out against vaccines. Now, from what I could tell, I don't think he speaks out against them. I don't think he's anti-vaccine. I think he's just pro-truth. Like, hey, listen, man, tell the people the truth when it comes to the vaccines and some of the adverse effects that these vaccines are having on people. Listen, I just told you my wife had a stroke. You don't want to even know the conspiracy bag I went into with that. Trust me, I'm with Robert Kennedy. You explain to me how a young, healthy woman just has an unexplained stroke out of nowhere. Just saying. So, Jamie Foxx, LeBron James' son with the heart condition. I know it sounds, because everyone comes on the internet and they start their little podcasts from their living room, and everyone's a damn scientist, and you can't even spell biology. So I know it always sounds crazy when someone who's not in the know always says, well, it looks, but I'm telling you, it looks like since the vaccine has been administered, that a lot of people are having things that can't be explained, and they're falling into the category of medical emergencies. It just is what it is, right? So RFK speaks out against that, and he wrote a book that I'm listening to an audiobook version. It's called The Real Dr. Fauci, which he which he kills, not kills, but he just writes an expose of Fauci not telling the whole truth, the full truth about vaccine injuries, and how Fauci throughout his career has known to keep information from the public to promote an agenda and push certain medications and vaccines onto the public. So because of this book, RFK is known as a conspiracy theorist, and also his voice sounds like, I got to be honest with you, his voice sounds like Darth Vader. And the reason why his voice is like that is because when he was around in his early 40s, he suffered from a neurological disease called spasmodic dysphonia. And he said he used to speak really loud. Like, he spoke so loud and so well that he didn't even need a microphone when he used to speak. But I don't know if it's a result of that. I don't know what happened, but this condition, and maybe I'll try to put up a video so you can hear his voice if you haven't. His voice sounds crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but he's in super good shape. He had put up a video of himself doing push-ups and pull-ups, and I guess that's kind of like a shot at Biden, because Joe Biden, every time I see him speak, man, it's like he just wants to fall asleep, man. It's not even. I just feel bad for Biden, to be honest with you. So that's where he's at. Now, on the Republican side seems to kind of be the party that has all the, I don't want to say rock stars, but I mean, once you have Donald Trump, and he makes the noise he's making. Okay, so pretty much it's a three-way race, right, for the primary. But we all know who's going to be the last man standing. Okay, so as of right now, you got Trump at 53%, right? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When the primaries first started, Ron DeSantis numbers have been falling. And when I say falling, ladies and gentlemen, I mean falling. Ron DeSantis. Let's see if we get some DeSantis numbers. Okay. So, let's just take January 26th, because my computer's acting janky. Okay, January 26th, the polling had Trump at 43%, Ron DeSantis at 35%, Pence at 8.3%. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy wasn't even in the picture. He wasn't even polling. You had Nikki Haley at 3.5%, Tim Scott barely at 1%, and Doug and I was gonna say Doug Christie, you hear me? That dude from New Jersey, the former governor. Now, if you fast forward to now, August 1st, it's Trump who just got indicted, and we'll get into that on the next show because that's just too much to talk about. Trump is now at 53%. DeSantis has fallen all the way to 14.3%, and Ramaswamy has surpassed Pence. By the way, Pence should just bow out. And Ramaswamy is at 6.7%. Now, it's not enough because he's still way behind DeSantis. But I have a feeling that once the debates go on and stuff like this, I have a feeling that RFK is going to move up a little. I'm not sure if he could still get to Biden. Probably not. But I think Ramaswamy will pass DeSantis. Listen, people don't like DeSantis, okay? He's anti-woke, but a lot of people feel like, that he canceled a lot of race courses and stuff like that in Florida, the CRT stuff, so on and so forth. So a lot of people aren't feeling DeSantis on the Democrat side, okay? But a lot of people aren't feeling DeSantis on the Republican side because if you're just being honest, Donald Trump is a rock star and he's not, which leads us to Vivek. Now, Vivek, I just told you, is running at a distant third. But if you hear him speak, if you hear him articulate himself, he also wrote a book called Woke Incorporated, which I'm also listening to on audio, which explains how companies galvanize around ideology like, LGBT, ABCDEFG, and Black Lives Matters, all not because they give a shit, all because they want your dollar. So he wrote a book about that, and then after that book, he decided to step into and throw his hat into the ring. Now his family is legal immigrants. They came over and they made something of themselves. He himself is a millionaire. He has different ventures. I know he made. One time he had an Alzheimer's medicine that was out, so on and so forth. Now, while I was gone, here's the one thing that caught me about Vivek Ramaswamy. He was on the Breakfast Club, and he was doing an interview. Now, the thing I like about Vivek and RFK is that they do the rounds and the non-traditional media, places that you're not going to see Donald Trump and Joe Biden, to be honest with you. Like RFK literally just sat down with Matt Hoffo, one of my podcast, idols, to speak. And it was a phenomenal interview. I mean, come on. Here you go. This white not even middle-aged, elderly dude, he's kind of ripped. And he goes into Brooklyn and he sits down with the brothers, man. And mind you, RFK just let the world know that when you run for president, you're supposed to get some sort of security detail. They have not given him no security detail. So I don't know if it's private security, but he's rolling around. He's going to the hood in Brooklyn, and he's shooting the shit with Matt Hoffa. Vivek also has been making the rounds. He's been making the rounds on there's some young black conservatives. I forgot their names, but I put them up there. He went on their show. He went on the Officer Tatum show. That's another black conservative. And he also did the Breakfast Club. Now, as we know, the Breakfast Club is not conservative. That's super liberal leaning. But here's the thing that I didn't like about that. Now, I know this happened months ago, but like I said, I was on my sabbatical, and I just had to talk about it. To me, that interview is indicative of how black people vote the majority of the time. And when I say that, I don't want to sound crazy, so let me try to articulate this. I believe sometimes we vote with emotion. We were brought up to believe that the Democrat Party, and only them, cares about the plight of the black community, and that the Republicans don't. In Chicago now, the people in the base out there are really upset because Chicago has embraced illegal migrants that are crossing that border, and Chicago, which is primarily Democrat, they're helping the migrants more than they're helping the own people of Chicago. We talk about Chicago 1,000 times on the show. We don't have to go through it, but the gun violence, the poverty, the this and that, and the people are mad, rightfully so. But that goes to know what you're voting for, know who you're voting for. You guys voted for this, and now you got what you vote for, so to speak. So anyway, Vivek was on the Breakfast Club, and he's doing an interview, and the young lady, Tez Figueroa, hope I'm not totally botching her name, she went at Vivek, to me, so rudely. She wouldn't let him speak.
Not political. Let's not get it confused. Yeah. I'm saying, have you did anything of service that we can point to say he is a good leader? Like Chris, and I'm not even a fan of Chris Christie, but he was the student council president in high school. So have you done anything of service besides yourself that has not benefited yourself? It's just a simple question.
So the acts of service that I have performed are small, so small that I don't even want to talk about them to boast. But yes, have I volunteered for this country? Yes, I have. I've always been interested in healthcare.
It's okay to talk about the small things.
I mean, these are small things, right? But thank you.
Let's just mention it.
Bethesda North Hospital.
So it's really a no?
No, it's not a no. It's just something I don't like boasting about. I volunteered.
We're not boasting. It's an interview. You're boasting on your vision and everything else.
I think
you boasted on the millions of dollars that you made. So let's just throw it out. So in sixth grade, I'll give you an example. I'll help you out. In sixth grade, Miss Harris was let me give you an example because maybe you're confused. In the sixth grade, Miss Harris was snatching papers from everybody in the classroom. So me as a 10-year-old, I went to the principal and said, I'm tired of Miss Harris snatching papers, and I'll organize the students around getting Miss Harris to stop snatching papers. Now, there was a consequence for that. I got suspended for 5 days for talking back, and I got in trouble. I got a spanking, and I was on punishment for months and months. But that is a simple way of organizing people. So I want you to kind of boast about it the way you did the millions of dollars and said what you did with the pharmaceutical companies. What leadership can you point to that you've been able to rally anybody around anything that is of service that you did not pay anybody to do? I think that's important for the next president of the United States.
Sure. So,
but the problem I have at the interview is that the man couldn't get a word in edgewise. And to me, the interview was just real cringy. I couldn't stomach it. I got so mad. I like, see, this is the problem with us, man. But that's why I like when the RFKs go to Math Hoffa or even Ice Cube. Ice Cube went recently, and I mean, he's not running for anything, but he went to sit down to talk to Tucker Carlson. And people got mad about that. Hey, Cube, how you going to go talk to him? He don't care about our people. But you guys are the same people who got mad at Ice Cube when he bought his contract for Black America to Donald Trump as well. So what is it? We just go on this side and that's it? We can't have conversations. We can't put any nuance to anything. It has to be this side and that's it. You stay over here, you're in this box, and you can't go outside of that. We can't have debate. We can't have dialogue. You know, so when I seen that Vivek interview with the Breakfast Club, I just knew it was just bad all the way around. And, you know, but at the end of the day, 2024, you're going to have two men standing at the end. And that's Biden and that's Trump. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure if I'm going to vote. I really don't think I'm going to vote. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we're about to wrap up the show. So what I decided to do for going forward, I'm going to wrap up the show with something I like to call positive note. So what's a positive note? Because, you know, I'm probably going to come in here, I'm going to talk all my crap and so on. So, but I want to end the show always on a positive note. So, 16-year-old Keynote Evans was doing yard work to make money to buy his siblings some clothes for school, when someone called the police on that young man. 16-year-old happens to be an African-American man. I'm not sure who called the police on him. Probably a Karen, who knows. So the cops pulled up and they seen the young man. But the cop noticed something. The cop noticed that this didn't look like a trespasser. This looked like a young man who's doing yard work.
The person who called police was unaware that Keontae had been hired to do some yard work. Officer Colleran sorted out the misunderstanding and learned Keontae was trying to earn money to buy his brothers and sisters some school clothes and buy himself a PlayStation 5. They parted company, and a couple of days later, Officer Colleran returned with a little something in the trunk of his patrol car, the video game console. He got a hug for that. After taking it inside, Keontae ran out again.
Somebody just did this for you. Like, the game is so expensive, and, you know, somebody just did that for you. You can't do nothing but be so excited. You gotta give him a hug. A big hug at that. You gotta give him a very big hug.
I didn't do any of this to end up on the news or anything. I was just gonna try to help him out and reach his goal and let him understand that if you work hard and you're honest, and, you know, good things will come to you.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how we're going to end the show, on a positive note. So listen, your boy's back. This is episode 17. I promise you, coming short of someone having another medical emergency, and they better not. We're going to be more consistent. We're going to try to knock these things out weekly. You know how we do. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that notification bell. My good people, from the bottom of my heart, it is so good to be back with you guys. I promise you, I will be back sooner than later with episode 18. And remember, as always, love yourself, love others, but most importantly, love God. My good people, Don't Kill the Messenger podcast. Peace.